Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a movie about a massacre done with a chainsaw in Texas. There's actually only one person who gets killed by a chainsaw in this movie, so I'm not sure why it qualifies as a chainsaw massacre, but anyway, that's not the point. The main killer is a guy named Leatherface who got that name because his face is made out of the finest Italian leather money can buy. This movie pretends to be based on a real story even though 99.9% of it is made up. It all starts when 5 teens named Captain Kirk, Dancing Rick, Franklin, Sally, and Pam pick up a hitchhiker who clearly lost his marbles. This random guy immediately grabs a knife and cuts his own hand open, but they wait for him to hurt somebody else until they finally kick his insane ass out of the mystery machine. The teens go to a gas station that has no gas and the worker just says something like, "You ding dang old darn tootin' old round here old house.
Boys don't want to go mess around old house."
So the teens decide it's time to trespass on somebody else's property, so they walk into some creepy house in the middle of nowhere. They quickly come across Leatherface, who isn't a fan of breaking and entering, so he hits Captain Kirk with a hammer. But he accidentally activated Kirk's dance mode, so he has to hit him again to turn it off. Pam walks in the same exact way to find Captain Kirk, but she finds Leatherface instead, and he goes all "where my hug at" on her and hangs her on a meat hook. The good news is she found Kirk. The bad news is he's being carved up by a chainsaw. Then for a while, Leatherface is just running around making noises like he's about to throw up and can't find a toilet. The next victim is Dancing Rick, who also gets killed with a hammer. So they should have called this movie Texas Hammer Massacre, but hey, I didn't make it, so who am I? Franklin and Sally go stroll through the woods, but Leatherface is there and he finally uses his chainsaw on Franklin. It's kind of unfair if you ask me though, because Franklin can't run away. Sally runs into Leatherface's house for safety and he chainsaws his own door open instead of just, opening it. Sally jumps out the window and runs to the gas station again, but the worker is actually a witch and he beats her up with his broom. They invite Sally over for dinner, so Leatherface puts on his best makeup and sticks her finger in some old dead guy's mouth, and the dead guy starts to do a little happy dance. Sally jumps out of another window, and at this point she's a pro, so she starts to make an escape. Leatherface and his brother chase her around, and a big old truck comes and runs over the brother. The driver gets out, sees a lunatic with a chainsaw running around, and gets right the fuck back in his truck. Sally and the driver jump out of the other side of the truck instead of just driving away, and the driver remembers his favorite quote from the movie Dodgeball. "If you could dodge a wrench, you can outrun a chainsaw." So he throws a wrench right at Leatherface's leather face and he falls to the ground and cuts his own leg with a chainsaw. He now realizes that he just isn't cut out for this line of work anymore. So in the end, Leatherface decides to give up his life of brutal crime and pursues his true dreams of becoming a ballerina dancer. And that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.